Good morning.
Morning.
This is day 50 of our lejog, and you join us in the nice little woodland area around Bruce's cave. William the Bruce apparently had a cave around here, but we couldn't get to it because it was through a locked caravan site. So we're close to where Bruce used to be, but not close enough. We've just left Kirkpatrick Fleming this morning after having a decent night's sleep and decent food. There was 2 wedding parties on there, but very quiet, so we didn't hear anything. I think that's the benefit to us of the lockdown, but obviously not to the wedding party. We've probably got about 17-18 miles to do today, mostly off-road fortunately, although we do hit the road in about a mile's time for a couple. After that we hit hopefully the Annandale Trail, which follows the River Annan from the town Annan to just past Moffat. So we follow that for about 2 or 3 days, 2.5 days, 3 days before we veer off and make our own way up towards Glasgow. And we pass Glasgow just to the east. But Lockerbie is the destination today. I don't think we've got a lot of ascent either, so it's looking like a good day. The weather's okay, it's in our favour, and it's a nice start, a nice pleasant gentle stroll through this woodland. Lots of bird song, lots of colour. Nice start of the day so far. Just flip the camera around a little bit. Like a very old woodland. And having said that, there's a lot of trees packed tightly together, which indicates it's not that old, so maybe I'm wrong. Very scenic though. I just come across the little stream called Kirtle Water. Nice and peaceful. Nice and gentle, lots of bird song. Just across the bridge. Very peaceful. Very calm. A great way to start the day. Well, that's day 50 coming to an end, and we'll be glad to see the back of it, to be perfectly honest. Didn't go exactly to plan. We planned on joining the Annandale Trail at lunchtime, but when we got to the River Annan, there was no sign of any footpath, no sign that anybody had ever walked on it, no access to the river. We couldn't actually get down to the river at all. When we tried through a farm and through another access road, both were blocked. So we gave up, and we've just had to follow little country lanes for the last 3 or 4 miles. We've probably had 90% of the whole walk today on roads. And although most of them have been little isolated country lanes, some of them, like this one we're on now, has some quite fast vehicles on in, lorries and buses. So it's been quite unpleasant. So we've probably done about 17 miles and it's another day ticked off, and that's about the only bonus that we can say. Gets us up to Lockerbie, and as the Annandale Way actually goes through Lockerbie, we're going to see if we can pick it up in the morning and see if it actually exists up towards Moffat. If not, we'll have to replan and rejig the whole walk again tomorrow. But tomorrow's a very short day anyway, so we're going to have a late start and an early finish. So not very... Oh, we've got a huge bus coming at the moment. Just got to... This is what we have to do when there's big vehicles come. But we're nearly there now, got another mile to go. In fact, I can see Lockerbie up ahead, probably not even a mile. So as I say, it's another day ticked off, day 50 ticked off. Start all over again tomorrow with a smile on our face and a bounce on our feet. Starting to see some of the Scottish Highlands up here in the far distance. That's something else to aim for. We'll see what happens tomorrow then. Bye for now. Well, good morning.
Morning.
Day 51 and a late start this morning because we're going to have a very short trip today, probably about 10 miles, 11 at the most. It started out a little bit drizzly and damp, and we're in a nice little woodland, so it's quite dark in here. I get walking through a tree canopy, quite dense. Quite a nice area, lots of bird song as you'd expect. So we've left Lockerbie, we're about a mile behind us now, and heading towards Johnson Bridge. So unlike yesterday where we couldn't find the Annandale Trail, we've managed to find it within a mile today, and surprisingly it was signposted, which was a big benefit. So hopefully we can follow that for most of today and then veer off towards the end towards Johnson Bridge and then rejoin it for most of tomorrow as well. That's if it's signposted. It seems like it's a bit iffy and dodgy because yesterday we couldn't find it at all. So we'll see how we go with this route finding, see if the Annandale Trail actually exists in its entirety or whether we'll just get little bits and pieces. Have to make our own route look like we did yesterday. But looking okay to start. Well, good morning to Team Lejog.
Good morning.
And you join us on day 52. Now you might wonder where 51 went. Somewhere over there I think, but actually it was a washout, complete washout. We started off in light drizzle and it was okay going through the forest, but then it got a little heavier and it was on off rain, drizzle for most of the day, so no photography, no filming. It was a flat boring day, not as hard as the day before, but it just wasn't very pleasant. So managed to get to days in early, have a restful early afternoon and evening, and set off again today. So we've left Johnson Bridge and we're heading to, we don't know, and that's because we're wild camping tonight somewhere north of Moffat. So we're heading towards Moffat for lunch, probably about 10 miles time, have some lunch there and then probably go 5 or 6 miles further on into the forest. I think someone's dog's been following us now, she's had to come and chase it in a car, so I'll carry on. So we'll go north of Moffat, probably about 5 or 6 miles, and then find a decent campsite. Stupid dog has been following us for about half a mile, and the woman's had to drive the car to catch us. So I'll turn this off, otherwise it's just going to keep going. Well, we've just left the road and we're trying to find the Annandale Way, which is in this forest somewhere, but there's no visible footpath at the moment. I think it's somewhere up ahead. But if yesterday's anything to go by, it should be signposted when we get there. It's just at the moment it's a bit thick vegetation until we come to this forestry road. Follow this should be the Annandale Way. We'll probably find out at the next junction. Sun's come out while we're in the forest. Nice morning. We've just exited a very dark forest to a beautiful view. Panoramic, far-reaching, excellent. Even the wind farm doesn't look bad. This is becoming a bit of a nightmare. We found what we thought was going to be Forestry Commission road, but there isn't one. It's just a clearing in the forest, and yet on the map it states that there is a twin-wheeled track, but there definitely isn't. These grassy tuffocks and mounds and heather and peaty bogs are just energy sapping. It's a bloody nightmare. I've had about a mile of it. I've no idea how long it goes on for. Just to keep plodding on until we find a track to follow. Sleep up there. So we've managed to get our tents up. Found a nice flattish area for 2 small tents, that's all we need. Got them up. We've deliberately tried to find somewhere with a little bit of breeze, just in case the midges are about. They don't fly in anything over sort of 5 to 10 miles an hour. So that's why we've picked this spot. We're right in the middle of a little valley that runs along here. Got here about 6 o'clock. Put the tents up. Took us a lot longer than we thought, but it's only our second, maybe our third attempt at putting the tents up. So that's not too bad. Right, so that's the end of day 52, officially the end, in about 19 miles, which is a lot longer than we thought it was going to be. And it was a lot tougher as well, coming through this forest. We thought we were going to be following a proper track, but it turned out that there wasn't a track there at all. So we just had to forge as best we can through really long grass and bracken and gorse and all sorts of things, bit of bogs, everything. It's very tiring. But we got here and we put tents up, had something to eat, and we've done alright, we think, for only the second or third time. And it's not flat ground, it's not in your back garden, but we managed to get them up. We're just testing out now to see if there's enough space for the sleep in or to lie down. I think there probably is. I think if it had been raining, we'd have probably really struggled, because it's been easy putting this stuff up in the sun, basically, you know, a nice warm evening, no problems, no high wind, no rain. I think the day when we have to put it up in the rain will be a problem day, but we'll get over it. We'll probably get wet, but we'll get over it somehow, and we'll see whether we get any sleep tonight. Not sure about that one, but we'll see you in the morning. I'll let you know what happens, if anything, through the night. Well, good morning again. Day 53 of our lejog on a very stony forest path that I've got to keep watching where I'm going. We've just broken camp and had some midges for breakfast. Not literally. They descended on us fairly early, but disappeared after the wind got up and the sun got out, so that wasn't too bad. And we had our midgie nets, so we dealt with them pretty well this morning. So we're still in the Lowther hills and camped somewhere in the forest near in the forest near the Roman camp, the Roman roads, but there's no sign of those at all now. We had a pretty torrid time getting to the campsite last night. We chose it because it was in a slightly windy position, and it was getting sun till late evening and a good early sunrise, so that would deter the mozzies and the mosquitoes and the midges as much as possible. So that kind of worked out okay. So we've got about 15 miles to do today, we think, to Abington service station. Is it a Days Inn? Yeah, Days Inn at Abington service station. And a lot of it's going to be through the forest. And I just hope that the footpath is a lot easier than last night, because that was horrendous. So those of you who are a little bit observant notice that I've got my little red devil back, who's been with me for all our adventures, our treks, our mountains, hikes, walks. And Tracy got me on our first expedition about 20 plus years ago. Thank you, Tracy. That joined us at Penrith. I also got a new cap that I lost somewhere in Gloucester, I think, or Worcestershire, somewhere like that. Just did a disappearing act on me. And also a new pair of glasses. I banged my head on a low hanging branch. Oh, it's going uphill. On a low branch on the Pennine Way, and I was that concerned about rubbing my head I forgot to look to see if my glasses were there, and they had disappeared. So Tracy's got me a new pair of glasses. Good job she knows what I like and what type I like, although she did try them on for me and sent me a photo just so I knew what they were like. I think they look better on her than me though. Oh, looks like we've got a bit of an uphill section to go before we get to the wind farm. So I'll sign off now and see what happens for the rest of the day. Well, we've had a few miles, probably 3 or 4 miles in the forest. Nice peaceful walk. Unfortunately, all the forest tracks either go up or down, or not in our direction. A lot of wind farm access roads as well that don't go in our direction. So we've had to join this road, which I think is the access road to all those wind farms. Unfortunately, it's right next to the A74 motorway, and we've got to follow this for about 5 or 6 miles. So no photographs, I doubt, unless something stunning just jumps out in front of us. It could be a bit of a boring couple of hours, but as we're following the motorway, it's going to get us to where we want to be as quickly as we could. That's about all you could say about it, really. It's not very pleasant. Well, it's another day under the belt, fairly nondescript day. Day 53 won't be one that we remember with any great love and affection. It's been fairly boring. Okay to start with, first 3 or 4 miles through the forest there were some nice views, nice areas, peaceful, quiet. Then unfortunately we've had to follow mostly the motorway, the side roads right next to it, and a few country lanes that we found. Now, the country lanes were okay, no traffic on them, but we're back at the main road now. We've only got about half a mile to go. It's going to be about 13 or 14 miles, somewhere in that region today. So not a long day, not a hard day, but not a day that we'll remember very much of. But it gets us a day nearer to Loch Lomond, which we're looking forward to. Get back to see the beauty of Scotland's Highlands. Just hope the weather holds out, because that could be a killer. But so far so good, we're doing okay. See you for now.